Candyman. Candyman. My bad, y'all. What's good, Joe? This is Abwon. This is before you watch spoiler-free reviews. My last review was for Sweet Girl, that's on Netflix, starring Jason Momoa. Now, I mean, make sure you check that out. And surprisingly and ironically so, my review this time is for Candyman, and the lead actor also was in Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa. So that's pretty dope. I just realized that right now, right? So make sure you click that subscribe button, because obviously I'm doing reviews left and right now. Like I said before, I'm ramping them up. And I was on vacation, and one thing that I did was go see Candyman on vacation, because I was really hyped to watch this movie. Even though it was supposed to come out last year, I was really hyped to watch it. It got pushed back due to the COVID, obviously. Anything Jordan Peele does now, I'm pretty much gravitating towards it, because I love his style. And, you know, I got to do it for the culture, because everybody and their mom is watching it. A lot of people got things to say about it. So, you knew I was going to do it. So I honestly don't think I need to do a synopsis, but I'm going to do one anyway for anybody that's out there that has never seen the Candyman movie. I'm just going to give you a quick one. This black man gets murdered. If you say his name in the mirror 5 times, he comes back and he kills you, right? Okay, boom, that's it. Now, this particular movie, it's the same neighborhood in Chicago. It's years later, obviously. It's been gentrified. You have the male lead, who is an artist that's, I guess, going through painter's block. He's trying to get back to the elite level he was once at before, and he's just doing anything he can to return to prominence, and the Candyman legend returns to some degree, and that's all I'm going to do is leave it at that. Now, first and foremost, this movie is going to be judged because Candyman is a classic. This particular one, I know it'll say it's a sequel. It does have sequel elements, but I also feel like it's a reimagining, simply because now they start to elaborate on certain things with the legend and who he is moving forward and things like that. I really can't get into much detail, because then I'll spoil it for you. You really just got to watch it. I'm going to tell you right now, as a horror movie, it's not that great. But as a thriller, it's a really good movie. Horror movies just aren't scary anymore. Everything has been done. There's only so much you can do to make a horror movie scary. I tell people this all the time. But if you can do things to make it suspenseful, now you got something on your hands. And shout out to Nia DaCosta. She is the director. The movie just pulled in $23 million in the first weekend, and she's the first female black director to have a #1 movie on the box office. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. I was talking to somebody on Facebook, and they told me, you know, I wish people would put respect on her name, because this isn't Jordan Peele's movie. And she's right. I mean, honestly, it is Jordan Peele's movie, because he's a producer, but he didn't direct it. So I understood what she meant. So yeah, shout out to her. Jordan Peele's movies have a lot of symbolism in them. A lot of people don't realize that. They just watch it for what it is. The biggest theme that you'll notice with this film are the mirrors. And yes, you can take it in a literal sense and say, oh, it's a reflection on who this person is becoming. But if you really look at the other Easter eggs too, it reflects on America, you understand, and how it perceives black people. So the director did her thing, but the production is really where this movie stands out. The cinematography, there's a scene where he's walking through a hallway. He can't see his own reflection, and you can't see the camera. And I'm wondering, how did they do this? How did they shoot this? Because there's mirrors everywhere. It's showing you the point of view from like a mirror in somebody's pocket, or a peephole through somebody's doorway, or through the ceiling. And it does that in so many different scenes too. I don't know how they got to do it. Maybe I'll check out like a behind the scenes commentary thing or something like that. The movie's only an hour and a half, and you guys always hear me talk about pacing, and I always say horror movies do not need to be longer than an hour and 45 minutes. This movie is an hour and 27 minutes. So shout out to them, because I'm sure they probably heard my review at some point. What I do like about it is that the way it has its flashbacks is they tell the story through puppets. and that's symbolic as well too. It keeps you up to speed, so even if you didn't see the first one, you'll understand what you're watching now. However, there are some plot twists, and there are some characters that do return or make cameos in some form of fashion, where if you didn't watch the first one, you wouldn't know who they were in this one. The movie is definitely very progressive. That's one thing I liked about it, because they could have just went an easy way out and just remade the original or just made a cheesy sequel, but they made it very progressive in how the world is today. I really, really did like that about it. You know, kids dress like they're modern. You know, even Candyman himself in the urban legend and things like that, when they talk about the old legend, it seems old, but the newer one, they have like a modern twist on it. So I really enjoyed the film. What I did not like about it is that it was predictable. It was extremely predictable. From the beginning of the movie, you know, people were telling me, yo, I bet you this and that happens, and this person is that person, and that person is this, and everything came true. It's not scary. If you're trying to see something to have you jump out of your seat and afraid to walk down the hallway at night, this is not the movie to watch. If you want a horror movie that's got some, you know, social dialogue, bring some discussions to the forefront, and something that is thrilling, you know, this movie is for you. This movie is for you. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. That credit scene was like extremely powerful. The credits alone, I was just like, yo, this man Jordan Peele really puts a lot of thoughts into his projects, and that's one thing I really do like about him. He's definitely one of my favorite filmmakers, and I cannot wait for his next film. And shout out to Nia DaCosta for, you know, breaking boundaries, so I know her next film is about to be lit. And overall, I'm gonna get this movie an 8.8. I'm gonna give it an 8.8. The soundtrack was cool, you know what I mean? The soundtrack to me didn't really stand out as much as the cinematography did. The cinematography is really what makes the movie. And then the underlying messages as well too really helped it for me too. That's one thing I really enjoyed about it. Let me know what you thought in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you feel it's one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Who knows? But that's what it is. Make sure you subscribe. I got another review coming for you for Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings in a few days, man. We out of here. Peace.